In this video, I am going to create for you a personal 6-week off-season program which will get you the best results possible. With the winter break officially started for a majority of football, you need to know how to actually make the most of your off-season period or break. It's not just a battle of who works the hardest. A majority of footballers will be training and working out during this period, so you need to know what actually works the best. So it's not just a matter of who has the highest work ethic. Of course that comes into it, but what counts more is who trains better. If you train ineffectively but really tough for 6 weeks, but then someone else trains smart and effectively, they will have 10 times better results than you. So let's discuss a perfect plan for you. So my off season has just started. Unfortunately, I've only got 4 weeks off, which is quite annoying. As footballers, we'd like a bit of a longer rest, but there you go. But normally, I do have at least 6 weeks off, so I'm just going to run you through my usual 6-week off-season plan. This is how I usually set up most of my clients for their off-seasons as well. So I hope this helps you, and I hope this off-season plan works for you as well. So like I said, we're talking about a 6-week off-season plan now. So for the first 2 weeks, that's complete rest. No work, no leg exercises, no ball work at all. Throughout the season or half season of football, you're putting your body under a lot of stress, especially the smaller muscle fibers within your groins. Throughout all of that kicking, your groins and glutes and hamstrings are being absolutely killed, which is why you need 2 weeks rest to just get over these small little injuries or pains that you may have and just let these parts of your body recover. If you're worried about your fitness, 2 weeks will not destroy your fitness at all. 3-4 weeks, you might decline a bit, but 2 weeks, you'll be absolutely fine. Okay, so that's the 2 weeks over to try and rest both physically and mentally. We're now getting started into the work. Now, you don't want to kill yourself straight away. So for the first week back into training, you want to do light work. No heavy work in the gym, no heavy work on the pitch. You can do light ball work, but I'd avoid shooting, especially shooting, long distance passing, even sprinting. You just want to do light work just to get back into things, ease yourself into things, get familiar with the ball again, and set yourself up for a good rest of your off-season. You're going to see a familiar pattern throughout this off-season, so you're going to start light and slightly increase the work every single week. I'm going to be more specific than that. Obviously, I just wanted to outline it early doors. So that's your first 3 weeks. Now, the third week, as well as introducing yourself back into training and working out on the legs as well, you should obviously focus on nutrition and your sleep as well. Leg work in the gym, don't be too heavy, like I said. Avoid plyometrics for these early stages. Week 4 now is where we can start to wrap up the intensity. Again, I would avoid shooting even on week 4. I would start doing some light plyometric work, some jump work, some change of direction, some ladder work, etc., etc. And this is the time to start actually doing football-based fitness. Within the first week, I wouldn't do any interval runs. You can do a light kilometer run just to get the movements back into your system, but on week 4 now you can start doing actual interval runs, some lighter plyometrics and other stuff like that. Week 5 now, you'd usually want week 5 to be the toughest week of the 6-week period. So this is where you can sort of go all out. Now obviously we need to try and avoid overtraining, but in the off-season period, in all honesty, you do have slight permission to overwork the body a little bit, just because there is no pressure of feeling fit for the weekend to be fresh for the match or team training or whatnot. So here's where I would do plyometrics. I would do interval runs. If you're a striker or you want to shoot, you can start doing some shooting drills. Obviously, I don't mean do 50 shots per session, but if you've done a good session and at the end you want to do 5 to 10 shots on each leg, that's absolutely fine. But like I said, this is the week where you want to be intense. You want to do 3 good fitness sessions, 2 good plyometric sessions, a lot of agility work, really setting yourself up for the pre-season. Because remember, the goal is to be fit close to your peak fitness by the time pre-season actually starts. Modern football is not like traditional football where you turn up to pre-season and the coach makes you run for 2 hours. This still happens, obviously, and there are coaches with that mindset, but majority of the time from day 1 of pre-season, the coaches will now have the balls out and start doing tactical and technical work with you instead of just trying to kill you and get you fit for the season. So week 6 now, this is the last week of your off season going into pre-season. This should be similar to week 5, just a ever slight decrease in intensity. Like I did mention, week 5 should try and be your most intense week, and then week 6 should, like I said, slightly tone it down a bit. So instead of doing 20 minutes of interval runs, do 16. Instead of doing 3 plyometric sessions, do 2. Instead of doing 4 sets on this workout, do 3. Stuff like that, pretty basic. During all of this time, remember sleep, nutrition, hydration, stretching, etc., etc. All of that you cannot neglect. Within your actual training, throughout these 4 weeks of training, you should focus on your weaknesses, what you need to improve on, your strengths, and continuing to grow them. Analyze your season before. What could you have done better? What didn't you do so well? And how can you actually improve that during this 4-week period? So that is how I usually set up my 6 weeks off-season period. And like I said, this is how I try and set up with a majority of my clients. Obviously, it can change person to person, depending on many factors. But this is the very rough outline of how we do it at J&M. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you have an amazing off-season. I hope you enjoy the holidays, resting, chilling, taking time off, trying to relax mentally and physically, enjoying time with family and friends, etc., etc., all that good stuff. Thank you for watching, and I shall see you in the next one.